dyslexic.
What do you guys?
We're just gonna talk about the race, and if you
Bruce, it's okay. Everything's gonna be fine, man. Everything's gonna be just
this
fine,
is gonna be their most popular episode because you're on it.
It is. It's gonna be great.
How many people listen to your show?
We were talking about
100.
Every episode gets about 500.
That's huge.
Who are these people?
I have no idea.
Bots.
Russian bots.
Serious.
Exactly.
Speaking of bots, have you ever seen Instagram things
started.
and then you look at the comments? I do this.
Started already.
I do that.
Okay,
I do this just like whatever stupid reels and shit. And like, you go to the comments and then you click on the account of the person commenting,
Right.
and it's like a 1-2 post and like a 10 follower account. Like,
Right.
this is not a real person. This
No,
is a
it's
bot.
fake. Yeah.
And like, they're jazzing up the original post to fluff it up. Yeah.
When we're offline, I'll
I
tell
mean,
you.
you're probably going home at night and listening to this on your other accounts to bump up your
No,
number.
we're not. Actually,
You're the bot.
You know
we
what?
brought you,
know
in
what?
to
Actually,
fluff up.
I
To
don't-
be honest with you, Bruce, as soon as I record, I never listen to it ever again.
Yeah.
I just edit.
posting
I make
goes-
sure the
That's
sounds
how
right.
Kelly
and I
and
send
that's
it.
the thing with Kelly and Wills. I have yet to listen to an episode.
Really?
I don't need to. Why would I want to? I don't.
Because
I'm
you
living-
should
I'm
want to.
there.
You gotta support.
You lived it already.
I'm asking him to turn it down. I don't need to.
Would you be our fucking bot?
Let me just
please?
check that. I know.
Yeah.
Be a bot.
Well, now we've moved out of the house, so he's happy.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Why? Yo, yeah, we're really taking off. We need a new location to record.
Things are really turning around for us.
Oh, man. Right here. It's okay. All right.
Kelly says I'm being mean.
You
So.
are being.
No, it's okay. You can say whatever you want.
So you wanted me to talk? I'll talk.
I already have it preset on our YouTube channel that it's not made for kids. You can say whatever the fuck you
Do you
want.
want?
Bruce.
Do you
I don't
want
care.
G version or PG version?
Just don't get into politics.
Come on,
We want the it's Super Tuesday.
Yeah, right.
Bringing up the politics.
Nikki Haley, what are you doing? You just dropped out. Have you been listening to the numbers?
Oh, I've seen
He's
all of
smashing.
it.
He's smashed. Trump's smashing.
Of course he
He's
is.
getting 60,
Yeah.
70, 82% in Alabama.
Russian bots, Bruce. Russian bots.
Massachusetts got 70 something percent.
Okay. Here we go. All right, guys. Welcome to the Broadcast Brothers. I'm Justin Faisongo, and I got Joe Noholava, and we're doing a wonderful twice-a-year smash-up with cocktails and canoes.
Woo-hoo!
Yep, we got Kel Thompson Schwartz, we got Will Regenstein, and we have Safety One,
Bum bum bum.
Joshua Bruce Schwartz.
My
Everybody.
replacement.
Okay, we're gonna do the most awaited recap of the Va'a Series, the NAC California Va'a Series. We've been through 3 races now. We've had success in all 3 races thanks to Kelly and all of the superior planning, and Bruce at Safety One, making sure all the safety boats are out there working properly, and you know, thanks to Will for showing up and racing and.
I missed number 2, but
Yeah. Well, you were sick, and
Yeah.
Finn was sick.
that was the excuse.
Yeah. So let's just go quickly over this second year. How do you guys feel about the second year?
Well, I feel that we definitely grew from the first year for sure, and that I mean, it's always hard to plan with, there's so many races, right? And so it's like trying to find the perfect schedule for everything. You know, I learned where I wanted the 3rd race for next year and how to space everything out. But
I think we learned no sprint after the first.
I think we also
race.
learned no sprint. We're not going to, you know, I'll take a poll, but I lost the sprint sheet this year. So it was too much to try to do the sprint and everything.
Like a week or 2 ago, she goes, "Have you seen a clipboard in the van?" I'm like, "No." What was on it? It's like, oh, just the results from the first sprint race, the race from like November or December. You're asking me if I still have that clipboard. I'm like, babe, it's rained a bunch. The car takes on water. Like, I threw that shit out.
It's gone. It's gone.
So I also just want to say that if our van didn't take on water, we would probably still have the sprint results sheet.
A109. The A109 is.
But yeah, it just, we're not doing the sprints. It's a 3-part series, and
You know that cost Danny the overall.
100%. The only person not having the sprint race
Oh, that's a good.
it cost was Danny.
So
Did it really?
funny.
Danny would have won the.
You are not a world champion.
Yeah. Danny Danny would have won the whole overall point series if I had accumulated his
Factor in
sprint,
the sprint.
because he was at 49 points and Stevie was at 50.
No wonder why he was also. I was asking about Cole Newey this morning. He's like, "Well, win the fucking sprint. You better win the sprint."
That's
Oh,
so
no
good.
wonder.
I love it.
I'm confused. Hold on. Which
good.
Danny did all 3 races.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve only did 2 races.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
But it's the way the races are weighted.
Stevie
The points are
won
weighted, yeah.
race number 2 and 3, where Danny got 3rd in number 2 and 4th in number 3.
So his sprint,
But he
points
won
would
the
have
first
thrown him
one.
over the top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Steven didn't race the
So
first
you
race.
can get more points per place.
Yeah, it's all the weighting.
Right.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
place is 25 points.
It's kind of like Mario Kart.
No, it's literally
10%.
Formula One racing scoring.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's
Yeah.
It's the same
Which
F1
is-
racing.
Where Mario Kart probably got it from.
Yeah. 25 for first, 18 for second, 15 for
When did it
third,
stop?
12 at 10.
Down to 10.
12,
Is that a Formula
12 for fourth
Yep.
place, 10 for
season Drive
fifth
to
place,
Survive
then
now.
8, 6, 4, 2, 1.
Good. Have you guys watched
I've
that?
already gone
What's
through
that?
it.
Formula One Drive to Survive?
No.
Such a good show.
But let's talk about
You
let's-
haven't done it?
Hey.
So good.
Hey.
I mean, I would never go or watch a Formula One race, but the Netflix show is fucking.
I feel like for the
killer.
guy that doesn't want to do a podcast, we could just have him on
I know,
every
bro.
week to talk
I
about
told you.
every
My
Just give him
I love
food,
it.
bro.
I love
Look,
it.
the-
This is fantastic.
Give him more chili. Look, he's
Yeah,
he's
don't worry.
hydrated. He's ready to go,
Yeah, they
bro.
put all these beers in front of me that
Yeah.
Great.
Hey.
Like almost all these.
So Kel,
Yes.
I remember, last year, right, the race dates were different.
Yeah.
I mean, last year was kind of
There's too many.
Yeah.
beta testing, right?
Yeah.
And I remember there was small kind pushback on the dates
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
What are you thinking for next year? Do you like these dates?
So I think the first race being.
Wait, hold on a second. Why was there pushback this year on the dates?
So we announced our dates in July.
Right.
Because
You're all right. You're all right, Bruce. Go.
I want people to plan, right? And if I have my dates set ahead and then,
Yeah, people flying in.
people flying in and
internationally,
stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
we were doing this and I was doing it the weekend before solo because that was some feedback I had gotten from some of the traveling people. They would come do this and then go do solo. Well, it turned out that Manny had adjusted his schedule as well. So that solo and our third race was going to be on the same weekend.
Oh, I see.
So then I moved this race into March, but we had always had a race on March 2nd. So our races were always going to be December 2nd, March 2nd, May 2nd, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And so with the solo being in the first weekend of May this year, I moved a race into February, keeping March 2nd and December 2nd.
Got it.
Because last year was 2 weeks before the solo, right?
Yeah.
If I can kind of recall.
So we are
Yeah.
going to move this. So I'm not going to try to make it back to back with the solo. That was a wrong decision. Like I don't need to do that. But we are going to have the first race in December, second race in February, and the third race in April. So there's 2 months between each race.
I enjoyed watching Danny race this race, whereas last year, because the Carolina Cup, he didn't get to race.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So if the
As a spectator.
if the finals is going to be in April, are you doing after Wild Buffalo then?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Last year we had it after Wild Buffalo as well.
Oh yeah. Oh,
That's
duh.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Because in my opinion, while Wild Buffalo is maybe the end all for the SoCal Ocean Racing Series, Va'a
Yeah.
California is not SoCal
Yeah,
Ocean
it gives
Racing Series.
people a reason to continue training. And,
I
Yeah.
don't know about that. You can still call it a SoCal Ocean race. It's still a race in the wintertime ish of one man.
It's just a different. It's just it is, but there is a certain series that there are race directors and clubs that fill in this series, and Va'a California is not in that series.
I don't know, but don't you think there's like a little too many races though? Because like the season's only so long, and like other races are already established, and then you add 3 more, which would be like 15% of the race.
Bruce, are you
I
pissed
just want
because
to
you got dragged
say,
voted?
all I want to
It's more
say
work
is
for
that
safety one, but
Yeah.
guess what?
It's
It's
a
important.
final race. Well,
It's
that's not a good
important
example,
for
but, like
who won solo last year?
I don't know. I'm not in the game.
Danny, because
Yeah.
he raced
Yeah.
a lot.
Well, Danny
Yeah.
barely he snuck it in because only the one dude got snuck up on the rocks.
Oh my god.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did that not
I
happen?
thought you didn't follow.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
just thinking
well,
that. Yeah.
well, I
yeah.
have some ghost accounts that are lyrical.
So yeah, we're gonna try to spread it out more and keep
Yeah, I
the
guess
third
we're-
race in April.
Okay.
Do the February, April, and December, and then also try not to overlap with other races. But also, we
When
don't
does
put
the score season start? May. early May, right?
Yep.
Crystal.
That's another freaking debacle. They have 7 race. Hold on. What is
Literally
it?
can't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about V.
We're gonna get so far into that.
Well, that's
No.
another day.
These guys don't paddle 6-man races. These are all the same people.
I know, but we'll save that for another chili bowl day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so, and I guess so. If you were to push it to April, then that because there's overlap with California Va'a
And Aloha
Series
Ito.
and Aloha Ito.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know about Aloha Ito's date until they announced it.
Okay.
After our race number 1,
Right.
probably.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so
And
we
that-
always had a race on March 2nd, and I was never
Yeah.
trying to put a race on Aloha Ito ever.
And I guess that makes because it looks like there were some heavy hitters that showed up to that
Yep.
race, right?
Totally.
Can you imagine
Totally.
more
Totally.
coming next year, right?
Yep.
So
I don't, it'd be interesting. I wish I had time to talk to, Monatea and those guys about Aloha Ito versus race 3 here and the difference and how he felt about it. But I mean, it'd be interesting to see. Like I said, it wasn't intentional by any means,
yeah.
No.
but
It was the same day?
it is what it is. Yeah.
coincidental.
It was the same day?
Yeah.
Same weekend, or yeah, I guess
Same
yeah,
day.
okay.
Same day.
When was Aloha Ito announced?
I didn't
Yeah,
hear
I don't
about
know.
it till.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my. I have my own opinion about all of
I
that.
mean, I could-
that I'm not even going to go into.
What about V1?
No.
I think it's a fad. I'm serious. I swear to God, I think it's a fad for SoCal.
Why do you think it's a fad?
Continue. Yeah. Why?
I think it's about to peak if it already hasn't. Maybe next year will be the peak, and then it'll taper off after.
Man, Bruce, here's the thing. I'm going to argue that a little bit. Okay, so the first race this year, last year we had 60 some odd paddlers, right? And we had a group of guys come from Tahiti to race that race. This year there was 80 some odd entries.
There was a lot.
that were all local.
All
Yeah.
local.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
No,
they realized
That's good data.
and they realized, shoot, I bought a rudderless. Now I got to paddle this.
We're gonna kick you out of this podcast.
I swear to God, I honestly think that's my opinion. I think it's going to peak in a year, maybe 2.
No, I think.
And then it'll be like, damn, this is.
Yeah, brother.
this is
Well,
not
I think
easy.
he's-
Bruce did replace you today.
Yeah,
Do you not agree?
No, I don't entirely, but I think you have a point, and it's just ebb and flow of the crafts because you could look at it like stand up,
Kind of peak already.
Oh, it's
but-
long gone.
Yeah.
When it comes
But
to-
but let's
yeah,
for
but-
you, a perfect example is how you train on a V1
Yeah,
and you race on OC1s when it's an OC1 race, but you train on a V1 for a specific reason.
yeah.
And this is, I think this is the essence of what everyone's trying to get to,
yeah, so
right?
it's going to be a fad for certain people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
I think
But it's a
out of
growing
out of
trend, I
those
think.
86, I think
Yeah.
it's like 30 of them.
It's a growing trend for sure.
it's going to ebb and flow. It's going to peak and valley, peak
Yeah.
and valley, peak and valley.
And
I don't.
availability helps.
Yeah, and but
Yeah.
the thing is too,
Bruce, what do you think? What's the draw with the fad? Why is it a fad?
I
Why
think
do you
because
think?
it's different and it is a new craft, or I mean, for here at
for
least.
our
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, flashback to 10 or 12, 15 years ago when the only rudderlesses here were the Gary Vos teamies.
Yeah, the two.
Yeah.
Timmys,
Teamy,
yeah.
is that his name?
Timmy.
Yeah.
Timmy. He bought 2 in like early 2000s, and like they were just plain white, and like
Yeah.
they were the only ones here forever. They're still here, I think.
Took one of
I
them.
think camel toe.
We snapped one of them in
Mangled.
half.
Yeah. Now it's the Shimmy Va'a.
Yeah.
Anyway, those were like the 2
together,
earlier ones
James.
here, and like it didn't really it didn't really take off. But
Yeah, because we didn't have YouTube.
The availability, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Vohi was post that.
Yeah,
Well, but it was
Accessibility
even-
of watching all that.
It
Was
was even before that though. Like so this was kind of right at the beginning of when Shell started to really dominate Molokai Hoi. Because Molokai Hoi was
Molokai
that was the
Channel.
pinnacle for us. Like we didn't even understand what Hawaii Nui was.
Right. Anything past
Like
Molokai
that didn't
was
even
just-
We never saw
exist
it.
to us.
Right.
unless you're Bud,
Yeah, and so
old timer.
we were just everything was Hawaii. Hawaii. Anything that was Hawaii was what we wanted, and then we just completely discounted that the Tahitians were
on a
like
different
Yeah.
planet.
doing a completely different sport,
Right.
and so it's taken until now.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Well,
I
I
mean,
think now is because of the availability and the logistics of how
Yeah.
we're getting canoes, right? It's like
Right.
it's easier
with-
to get them.
with
They're coming
Ozone
in mass.
making
right.
Fevas,
Cobra's
right?
making
Yeah.
a bunch of canoes
Yeah.
now. I mean, there's just availability is
Here's where I think it's a good platform. You take someone like Earl, right? Over the
he had a
weekend.
good
How you
race.
pronounce his
Yeah.
last name? Amarillo?
Yeah. Marina Del Rey Earl.
Yeah, Maria Del right? Like
Yeah.
that guy's just been chugging along over the
Yep.
years, racing his V1,
Yep.
and
Yeah, that is true.
that was, you know,
Yep. For
that
sure.
was his race. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
like,
he had a big race on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right, so
What place did he get?
He finished second.
almost top
but
10.
He finished second in his age class.
but there was a
But
Tahitian
because,
guy.
that's because
came in, right?
Tyrone.
Tyrone
yeah.
finished ahead of him.
Yeah. And he had just won Masters the weekend
Right.
before
Right.
in
Yeah,
40s.
Yeah, 40s.
He's senior master?
I thought he was a senior master,
I think
but
he's senior master. Is he
he's
not?
listed as a master, as a 40.
He registers himself, so.
I guess on the contrary to what you're saying that it's a fad, I hear you, but I think it's also you take someone like Earl, right? Will, who's been doing it for years. It's interesting in the sense that these paddlers have a different platform to, you know.
Yeah, maybe they see through it, or I don't know. Maybe Earl gets it and like shit. This is I don't know.
You used to ride a unicycle, right?
It's been a while
Right. So now, why one wheel versus two?
because it was a fad, because it was a novelty, because it was.
Yeah.
Because
I used to almost know how to juggle and unicycle. That was
Right. So this is juggling and unicycling.
Yeah.
For us.
Yep.
Is that how
For
you
us.
met Kelly? Is this the love story of like
I picked her up. I took her to dinner on her
with a unicycle? Yeah, on your shoulders.
No, he picked me up in a cop car.
Oh, that's right. I remember that car.
Nice.
Okay. Hey, I gotta ask you guys.
Yeah.
Since I was going to Catalina and back.
Oh, we gotta talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's
hang on. That's not that exciting.
no, but
I
let's
wanna-
unpack the third race. This is the one that just happened.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta just break down as you can how that front pack unfolded.
Yep.
Well, we need to preface this by let me ask you a question with, who is it? Mike Reel? Who's the guy that led
Wild thing, yeah.
No.
Did he have a GPS?
No, he was everywhere. He was he's fighting surf, right? So he's going like this. And Steve, you can see
he was the
Steve
lead
just
boat, yeah.
following him
Yeah.
back and up and down the swell
So-
the whole time.
So we saw
Did it
that.
matter though? Did Steve
didn't matter.
was
No,
Steve
no,
in
no,
the
it
lead the
didn't
whole
matter.
time?
It
Did
didn't
Michael
matter.
was
It
the
didn't
lead
matter.
boat and
No,
led
not-
Steve to the
I'm not
Newport
trying-
Harbor?
I'm not trying to
like-
shame anybody.
No,
but
no, no.
No, he
I
did.
just-
He did not have a GPS.
I just noticed that. I just noticed that at the start, right? Like,
What is this, a congressional hearing?
Exactly.
Starting with 111. Okay, 111.
because I wanted to know like what his given the circumstance, the conditions, right? Did he know to kind of like
told
what
him
the
to aim.
tendency was going to be?
I told him to aim for the pier, Huntington Pier,
And then turn.
because on the GPS map from when we started to
But you
Newport,
can't see Huntington Pier from
you couldn't see it from. Yeah, you could in the morning.
when it was clear.
Yeah, when it was clear, you could.
not
in the
Sunday
squall.
morning, though.
Not when that squall came in.
Not when the squall
Right.
came in. Oh my
You
god,
couldn't
the
even see
squall.
it at the start
Can we
of the
talk?
race.
Can we talk about the squall?
Well, yeah, wait, no. Let's get to it.
But, okay,
I'm like so
so-
pissed to know he didn't have a GPS.
It
but
was
as,
so
but as
great.
far as like the start, right? Like, so we're motoring up, and I could tell there was Will, Judson,
Yeah, the two.
Hunter, and I want to say it was like Thiago.
Yeah,
and
they all
somebody
went-
else.
they all started
You guys
heading
just
out
kinda
towards the oil
stayed
rigs.
out,
on
right?
the very right, on the very right of the
Yeah,
line.
it's all-
Yeah,
rigs, yep.
and when we were motoring down, I kept saying, I was like, hey, you know what? If I'm doing this race, my landmarks are the oil rigs.
Yep.
You know,
Both
like
the oil
aim-
rigs. Yep.
either split them or take the one
And
to the far
let's just
right.
even back
That
up
was
even, back up even further. It's Long Beach to Newport is a north to south race
Right.
with
Yeah.
the coast on your left if you're paddling.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah, you want to be aiming west
And we started
Small
about
crane.
1.2, 1.1 miles
offshore.
offshore to get a better line because the wind was not ideal.
And it was blowing harder, I'd say, than the report indicated.
But it
Would
was,
you guys agree?
It came in
I
great.
thought it was about the
And it was
same.
raining harder than.
Came
was
and
good.
gone, came and gone, came and gone.
Yeah.
I thought
anyway,
it was. I thought it was exactly as advertised.
Really? Okay.
So
I didn't think it was going to rain that much. I
No,
thought it
me
was.
either.
Just,
No,
I
I
thought
didn't
the
think it was
rain
gonna
was
rain that much.
kind of behind us.
Yeah.
So to start the conversation about breaking down the front pack, right? Because what happened was for us was that because everybody split, you guys took a really high line, a deep line,
Out to the ocean.
Steve
Really hard.
took off shallow, straight at Huntington
Immediately.
Pier.
Yeah.
So what happened was everyone, you could tell everyone in the conundrum, like, do we follow Will or do we follow Steve and
Yeah.
that lead pack? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And
Wait.
everybody kind of opened up.
That's cute. Did you really have that conundrum?
100%.
Do we
Yeah.
follow
I think
Will or
we even
Steve?
mentioned it. I think we mentioned it. Only because there was a point, right, where you guys separated.
No,
it was
but
like
you guys opened up the
it was like
field.
half a mile
hey.
instantly.
More than that. It was more than that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
but instantly it was half a mile, and then it turned into like mile half.
You're still one of my
like,
favorite paddlers of all
5
time,
minutes.
Hey,
regardless of what I
5
say about
minutes
you
into
today.
the thing started. But yeah, so like as much as you went, you took the high road. They took they went down.
They got the Scotland before me. Yeah.
But we were,
Well,
we were with you.
we saw the top 5 do the same thing in their own little spearhead, right? So Danny held an outside line. Steve was going directly at Huntington Pier. Darren was right behind him. Monotea and Tupu were right there too. They were all kind of in line, and Danny was pushing out a little bit high.
4 of them were kind of inside.
Yeah.
It started fast. It escalated really quickly.
And then right
Just
before, right when we got to Huntington Harbor, the breakwater right there, so the first like mile and a half, all of a sudden we see Tupu just cut downhill.
It was actually, so everyone was kind of talking about this is a big turning point of the day because everyone was like in different parts of the course, right? Was when that major squall came through.
Yeah, we're trying to find people at that point.
That
We had no idea where anyone was
when
at.
that squall came through, we were at Huntington Pier.
Right.
And we're just like, holy shit! We're just like, getting pounded, blasted, and
It was
then
awesome.
next, because I've heard stories from like Hunter, from Judson, like
just
lost visibility, right?
yeah.
Like
100%.
20 meters.
Yeah.
And they just kind of did what the ocean was providing. And
Yeah.
Hunter said, like, for like however long it was, I couldn't see anything. And then when it cleared out, next thing you know, I'm like aiming right for the shore.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so he was
Lynn
like,
said when it cleared, she had people. She was facing still the correct direction, but she had people paddling towards her.
What?
Wow.
Turned
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Yes, completely turned.
Yeah, it was bad, dude.
It was insane. It was like
it came on in a flash, literally in a
couldn't see,
2-minute period. It went from like clear to
and the wind picked
white
up.
out, and the wind picked up, and the
Yeah.
rain picked up, and the rain started coming sideways. I was like,
wind-
goddamn,
It's
Mark.
Right sideways.
I was like Mark Wahlberg in The Perfect Storm, dude, like holding onto the steering wheel, like, what do I do? What do I do? But I'm 8 feet up in the air. I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my GPS, but I turned out to the ocean just in case people started going that way.
Right.
Yep.
But
That's where I was.
Yeah.
I could literally. It was just me and water.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. But I knew generally where things
And-
were based because the wind didn't change direction.
the wind
Right.
didn't
So
change,
I-
and the waves were kind of the same.
So I
too.
knew I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep this heading.
And
And
that
I was
is
Sit in the
fine.
trough and just go.
In my head too, I was like, okay, the paddlers have been paddling this long. They know which way the wind is.
Yeah.
coming.
It wasn't a
Nobody's gonna-
dramatic.
Right.
But this, I feel like when that happened, it was a major turning point of the race because we were with the lead pack before the squall came, and we can kind of see who was committing to what line. Tupu was inside of Steve and Darren, but he wasn't like crazy inside.
No.
And then the
Tupu
squall
was
happened.
behind Darren.
He was behind him. Yeah, he was in third. But he was kind of tied with Monotail.
Yeah,
right.
they were
For, like,
kind
it
of
was like
sitting on
third,
each other.
fourth.
Yeah.
And then that crazy squall came in. This is the major turning point of the race, and we're like already at Huntington Pier.
We didn't see anybody for 15
We didn't
or
see
20
anyone.
minutes.
We're like, what? Like, where's Steve? We're like, oh, there's Steve. We finally found Steve, right? And we look inside, and we're like, I'll be damned. Tupu was in the lead because he went
He
all
cut
the way
the-
in.
he just took the swell downhill.
And I think because that
And he
same
had
squall
offset
did the
off.
same thing. So I think
And
he
then
was
he
at
got
an
hung
optimal.
up.
He was at a primo place in the race to actually go in.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, anything north of that, I
Yeah.
think would have.
So I was saying on the tape, I was like, man, if Tupu decides to jet the pier,
Yeah, it's on, baby.
Yeah.
because he came back out around Huntington Pier. If he
man.
had gapped the pier, and like we
He didn't know. There's no rules about
He
it.
was that inside.
Oh,
I mean, I guess,
Yeah,
he
he
was
was
in the
fishing line.
breaker. He was in
Stuck on
the
a
impact
fishing
zone.
I did say at the safety meeting last year we're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
shooting
yeah.
the piers. I didn't.
He was in the
I
impact
did not
zone.
specifically say
He
it.
was
this year.
definitely.
At the cliffs.
Yeah.
Tupu was in the impact zone. We were sitting right on him, watching him.
And so yeah, he was. I guess he was committed because he stayed there. He never came out.
No.
But so Darren was outside of him, and he kind of had the tie. Well, when Tupu took the lead, you could tell Steve was like, nope, and he just like, pop, 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 pop,
Yeah, yeah.
and he
Yeah.
took the lead back, and he had the high ground, and then so did Darren. Everyone else had the high ground, but Tupu and Darren.
I had
were,
the high ground already.
Yeah. Well, that's what I want to talk about, right? So 2 bold lines. I was thinking of us when we were out there, like 2 bold lines. You even said it when we crossed the finish line. You're like, live and die by the line.
Yeah.
And Tupu, right, had the super bold line, but your line was extremely bold, but on the opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, it was a bad call.
Tell us about
Well,
it.
Tupu says the same thing too. He said his was a bad call too.
Yeah. Well,
But I will tell you this: when you came downhill right at the end there, and Maruteo was fighting his way back out of the wedge in around the rocks.
Yeah.
The minute he saw you, should have saw the look on his face.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh my god!"
But that was the payout.
Yeah.
It was for a mile.
Yeah.
So I was expecting to get a payout for like 4 to 5.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the thought.
Yeah.
Going into it.
And you would say it was just that last mile?
At best.
Okay.
Because when we got close to when we were coming around Huntington Pier, I could see the lead boat at like 10 o'clock, like my 10 o'clock. I'm like, all right, I'm not, I'm not dramatically
super
far.
deep,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and then Rio's plan was just point A to point B, right? Like
Right.
he had his
Yeah.
compass heading, and he
Yes.
was just going
Yeah.
point A to
Yeah.
point
So
B.
I could see they were at my 10 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I know when I want to make my turn down. I was like, by just before Newport Pier, I'm going to start to work it and really get like the last 3-ish miles, 4 miles maybe of solid surf. And maybe that'll be enough to catch me up, or at least get into the fight. But the surf didn't really turn.
And the wind didn't really turn.
Yeah, the
either.
wind didn't really come back much. It didn't really turn. It just stayed southwest.
Because it was calling for west at like 2 o'clock.
So you saw what I
it was
saw.
Trending,
Yeah.
it was trending that way.
Kind of,
Yeah.
okay, how accurate it is.
Yeah.
Maybe early, but
But this came back. So I ended up getting a payout. Yeah, but it was for the last mile.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I
Hey, man,
I
that's-
probably did close to a mile of extra
yeah.
Distance.
Yeah.
distance.
Yeah.
For
But
sure you did,
That was
yeah.
just stupid.
Doesn't this kind of come back to Molokai Ho, kind of north line, south line,
Yeah.
south line? Like
Yeah,
picking
but
your-
you
That's
got
why it was
more.
kinda fun.
You
Yeah.
got more time, like for a
Yeah.
21.
Yeah, you got another.
Yeah.
You got another.
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
another
Yeah, you got another 10.
10 or 15
I don't think it was
miles.
a bad call. I mean, it didn't pan out for you, but
Yeah,
if it
yeah,
didn't turn into west, you would have had.
It would have.
Oh, it would have been legendary.
Yeah, it would have been legendary. Yeah.
Now, what I've also come to realize is that you basically the guys winning these races, mainly Stevie, Danny, whatever, they can sprint for 3 hours.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not there
Right.
yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yet, maybe.
Yet.
We'll keep pretending.
That's Twitch.
I'll keep
Don't keep doing our podcast. You'll be fine.
would sprint for 3
I know.
hours.
I know.
So it doesn't matter what line they take.
Right.
For a 20-mile race, they can
You're right.
sprint there
It's-
faster than you
yeah.
can
It's
get there.
A to B, right? That's with speed.
Danny was sitting in. He was sitting almost in 6th place for a while. He held an outside line.
What do you get again? Sorry, fourth.
4th.
Yeah.
And Rylan had dropped inside with Monotea.
Yeah.
And Danny held outside. And then by the time we got to Newport Pier, Danny started making his. Oh no, it was Balboa Pier.
Yeah.
Danny started making his move downhill, and then opened up 300 or 400 yards on Monotea. And then Rylan and Monotea were sitting around on top of each other, maybe 100
Well,
yards apart.
that was the moment where I realized I really fucked up, because at Huntington Pier, they're at my 10 o'clock. Then by the time I was getting to River Jetties,
Right.
it went to almost 12 o'clock. I was
Right.
like, oh, this is...
Yeah, I started mirroring.
I got to Newport Pier, they were at Balboa Pier.
Right.
At the Balboa Pier, they're already in the harbor. And I'm
So
like,
we were
geez.
sitting on Steve for a little bit, right at Newport Pier, and Steve's asking us how far back, and we're like, well, Darren's probably
must be nice.
500 or 600 yards back.
Right. Yeah.
So he's like, okay, and then like a couple minutes later, he asks again, how far is Darren? I'm like, I don't know, 500 or 600 yards back. Then he grabs the gear, and he starts opening up because he doesn't want to be in flat water with Darren, because Darren's super like sprinty fast, and
Yeah.
he's just a
Yeah, because he's not.
Yeah.
He's not.
well, yeah, but you know,
I
it's
know,
like
I
you
know,
get
I
through a
know.
race like that.
Yeah.
But Darren just there like a leaf on the wind, floating, popping off the top of bumps, and just doing his thing.
a
And
leaf on the wind.
Tupu's on the inside, and they're sitting almost neck to neck, but 150 yards away from
Separated,
each other.
yeah.
And Tupu is full stretch, going like big hootie strokes and just battling, trying to stay there. And so Darren ended up getting in front, but
Right.
from Balboa Pier to the river jetty, or I mean to the harbor entrance, Steve probably put on another 500 yards on Darren in that 1 mile.
1.1
Yeah.
mile.
He just opened up like he just took off.
So
what was-
a leaf on the wind. What would that make us, Justin? We're like rocks on the rocks on the stump. We're
You're like ants on the log.
we're like
Bruce,
a weight on an anchor.
we have horsepower. Okay.
we
We have horsepower.
I think we have
props.
inertia. Yeah, there we go.
Inertia.
Oh,
Internal combustion.
I made this comment because Danny's like, "How was it out there?" And I'm like, "Let me tell you, Joe tried many times holding me up while I was holding the camera, and when my weight starts moving, there's no stopping it.
Trim tab.
There's no stopping me from moving."
So what was funny, right? So during the broadcast, right? Like, so we tried filming with our camera,
Yeah.
freaking rain network.
Oh man.
It was kind of
Luckily,
like
Do you have a bag? Do you have a waterproof bag?
we had a
Oh,
hefty
you should have
plastic
seen
bag.
the setup I had.
But, like,
Dude,
it was a total. Like,
it was straight Island Boys, like.
and this
doing
is our
dumb
this is our
stuff.
6th race that we've
you
brought
can-
live, and it's like taking out floods, man. You like patch one hole, and then there's another pool over there, and like it's like a bucket full of water. And you
One
just-
day we're gonna have the dam all set. It'll
yeah,
be over.
hopefully.
Yeah.
But so we ended up just
That's
with
why.
the iPhone
That's why we're
filming.
gonna have Eric help us with all that.
We bailed on YouTube, right? And we just filmed with the iPhone on Instagram.
Hmm.
And what was funny about it was I'm engaging with our audience, and most of the
You
day
can
was
like respond to the or you can see the
Yeah,
comments come
you
in.
can see
yeah.
move,
Yeah.
So most of the day, right, we're just highlighting one paddler at a time because everyone's all spread out, and it was mostly the top 8.
Yeah, because you guys don't come
capture-
back. Yeah, because you guys are.
Well, I
stuck
mean, that was
with it.
it was
No, what the
challenging.
problem is
hard to
that's all
find
we can
anyone.
see.
Yeah.
Couldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Hey,
so
we were on the radio asking you if you needed help.
I'm not saying that. It's just like you guys are like a safety boat, but you're more like a media boat for the bullshit brothers. Like,
We,
Dude.
so
Bruce.
So anyway, so we see Rylan come in, and we're like, all right, we're gonna go in, and I wanted to stay out because we can control the speed. You can't speed in the harbor, right?
Right.
We're trying to explain that over the live cast, and people are like,
why aren't you filming them?
well, yeah. So
Yeah.
but
No,
I was like,
I
hey,
had said, no,
yeah.
let's just sit here
Yeah,
and watch
Justin
guys
had
try
a
to
debate
corner.
out there. I was like, no, like we
Joel's
need
like,
to go out.
no, the
I want to
viewers
find
want
a
us to
race.
go. Yeah, I'm like,
no,
all right, let's
this
go.
was even before the viewers too. I was like, I want to go find a race because we just been following one paddler at a time. And what was funny about, like, I was talking to like Danny. Who else was I talking to? But like every paddler that we like came up on, like they were just like doing their makeup, like. But it also kind of brought life.
Yeah.
And so I was gonna kind of segue to when we came up on you. So I was like, no, like screw that. We're going out. Like I want to go find a race. We haven't really seen like a neck to neck race besides
right.
Tupu
Right.
and
Yep.
I want to see action. And so I was like, you know what? Let's go find Will. And right before I said let's go find Will, Brent's like, follow Rylan. Stick with the top 5.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
was
my
like-
gosh.
And I was like, no, we're gonna go find Will. I was like, sorry,
Yeah.
Brent. We're gonna go find your friend
Joe,
of me.
Yeah.
Joe made the right call.
And,
He made the
Yeah.
right call on that.
and everyone was like, yeah, go find some guys. And then
Yeah.
so we had to go try find Will. And so we kind of went out and we saw a red canoe. We're like, who is that? And we didn't know it was a Tahitian broad. We're like, we have no idea who this is.
It's Marutea.
And so I'm like,
Marutea.
engaged. She's like, hey guys, if
He's on
anyone
that
knows,
TV
Yeah.
coming in.
yeah, Axel,
Axel
the
Marutea.
Tahitian
Yeah.
rock star.
He's the one that paddles with P-Ray too.
Yeah.
With Steve.
And so I was like, yeah, if anyone knows who
Who's
this
gonna
is,
come race your boat in Catalina?
our audience, they're like, oh yeah, it's Mauna Tea. So like, all right, cool. So we come up on Mauna Tea and we're like following him, and we just kind of like looked out. Luckily, we were kind of facing out.
Michael
Yeah.
was the one that saw
Yeah,
it.
actually, yeah, Micah.
We
And
had
we
a
saw this
telepathic,
green.
yeah.
We saw this green
Out of
omelet,
nowhere.
like half
Like,
a mile,
yeah,
like
way
outside
out,
of us. So
yeah.
we're like, sorry, T-shirt brought him out of town. We
Yeah,
just,
we're going out,
we
yeah.
just like build on him, and we just like we gotta go get Will. And we come up on him, and it was so funny because you guys are asking like, you guys are talking about like how Model Tea responded when Will came up on him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And
He was-
so we come up on Will, and Will's like, who is that?
I thought it was Judson.
Were you ahead
Oh,
of
you
me?
thought
We
it
were
was
side
Judson
by
is
side.
red. Oh,
I just
okay.
saw all red.
okay.
Because up to this point,
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone for about
Because you were in Timbuktu.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
16,
He's coming down.
You just have him on, bruh.
17 miles. I haven't seen a single person from when you guys first came up to me, and
Yeah.
it was me and Judd.
You're right.
As soon as you guys left, we were maybe together for a mile. And then the squall came.
Yeah.
Nobody. I didn't see a single paddler.
Did you have a VHF radio?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, life jackets. Yeah,
That's
everything
going
on
to be
board.
a new thing.
I had a cell phone.
Well, Wade had one.
And
I
then
know
that's
that
the
for a
first
fact.
guy I saw.
Yeah.
And so I saw the red canoe, and I knew Judd was inside of me, and I was
Right.
like, "Oh, you're
Yeah.
kidding me! Like I'm gonna battle him, and
Yep.
And so that's when I asked.
I
you
gotta
guys, was
bury him on
who
camera."
is that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said Manutea, and I was like, because I didn't know what the shakedown was. I knew I was behind, but
Yeah.
I didn't know by how much. And so I'm thinking Manutea Mion. I was like, like, excuse me? And
Yeah.
you go, no, not that one.
Not
Hey, but so all right,
Doesn't
so
matter. It was
so Will just fucking comes down on him like a freaking
Yeah, my
eagle
half-mile
on a squirrel
payout.
right? And he comes
rested.
in
You
right.
can tell he's been like sitting there just
Yeah.
riding bump
And he
downhill.
just when you came down on him, yeah, you're sitting just riding these, just poking. It was so lovely, and you come right in front of him, and we're filming it. I think I might even said too, it was like, wow, Monoteo just got stressed out.
Yeah.
because
he just
I
looks
think,
over. It was
I
like,
think
oh.
you scared the. I mean, you totally startled him because he was probably the same too. He didn't see anyone for a while.
Yeah, it was
because there's a
miles.
big gap between
Yeah.
him and Rylan and I think Tyrone, and you came up on
like
him.
coming
and-
back
We
to
missed
Earth.
Tyrone coming
yeah,
in.
we totally missed him.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was the Masters?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we thought Will was seventh. Tyrone snuck in around the jetty when I think we were heading back out.
Yeah.
We didn't see him.
Yeah.
But that was.
But that's how crazy the water was. Like,
Yeah.
if you were 100 yards away,
The video
Yeah.
didn't do
could-
it justice.
No.
you
No,
couldn't see
yeah.
because everyone was dropped below the swell, right? So you couldn't see anybody.
Yeah.
And you were in a gray canoe with a green ama. So
Yeah.
with a gray canoe, we just couldn't see you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Mike was like, "Who's that?" And we turned and looked like,
Will!
That's Will.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And we just like bail. I felt bad, but we're filming it. We're like, no, we're going out. And
Yeah.
But I'm just so glad that we came out and captured that
Yeah,
because
so-
that's
me too.
what I wanted
Me
to
too.
see, man.
Yeah,
Like watch
yeah, it
you
was a great
because
day.
we started
Fun.
with you. It was a total like
Yeah, it was
character
good.
arc. You know,
was
like
good.
Yeah.
like your story of like how the
Will
race
started,
it's fun. You
Will
can
started
see
out
it.
as the started out as the bad guy, and then all of a sudden he's a good guy.
I started out as he's making the best call
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
he fucked it up, but he gets a little something.
Yeah. Oh, and then just watch you just kind of separate in the harbor, like, oh, it's in the bag, man.
That was
Yeah.
He was yelling at us. Richard was yelling at us like, "You're giving Maroteo wake. Like, don't give him wake." Don't
giving him away!
Yeah. And I looked at Joe and I was like, I don't care how much fucking wake we give this dude. He's not catching.
No,
Will.
I
Like,
gave-
we were
I
just
had Micah-
opening up.
Mike,
When it's that wavy, there's no wake to be.
no, it was
No,
in the
no,
harbor.
in the harbor.
But I
Yeah,
gave
But
Mike
Maroteo was so gassed because he came. He
Yeah.
almost came in from.
That was
he
me
came
last year.
uphill
He was
towards
lined up with
the
bubble
jetty.
up.
Yeah,
Bubble up here.
He
Yeah.
dropped in, came
Oh,
back
wow.
uphill towards the
Yeah.
jetty, and Will just dancing downhill.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
just
finally had
swooped in
my
on him,
moment.
bro. He
Finally.
just-
Will had gas in the tank.
Had my
Will you
moment.
beat him?
Yeah. Yeah.
But so what was funny was, so we're watching Richard kind of like, he was just waiting there. And just like, he's paddling with Stevie Boy, and then like he
turned around, come back out,
come
yeah.
back. And then when he was with you guys, he starts like trying to go, and I think I yelled too. I was like, "Oh, we have a streaker on the field." and I like kind of did like the typical like live rock. I kind of framed him out.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I gave Micah
What was he doing? He was sitting there
I don't know.
He
He
was
was
the jetty.
at the harbor entrance.
on his one man.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Steve turned the corner, he starts sprinting with Steve down the side of the jetty.
Good.
But I'm not kidding you, Bruce. I'm not saying like he's like, giving him plenty of space. He's sitting right on Steve, like, neck to neck.
He's like, think of like the little boy character wearing the Superman cape running along like, the racetrack, like, or like a motorcycle race, just like.
And then we have this going on right here. We got Tom Fishback sitting out here in his boat. He's like, yeah, and he's screaming. I'm like, oh my god, this is the worst. This is so crazy.
No,
man.
that's
It's a
great.
spectator
Yeah,
sport.
yeah,
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a spectator sport.
I know.
So
You could
good.
ask Steve, like, how's this compared to Tahiti as far as spectators go?
Yeah.
Nobody.
I know.
Yeah, most people don't even know what I'm doing.
All right,
Yeah,
take my mic, Bruce.
when Stevie crosses the finish line and I'm
Okay,
the
well,
only one
thank
running.
you.
Thanks, bro.
Why don't you?
Love you.
Good stuff.
Bye.
Congrats.
Thanks, brother.
See ya.
Thanks, replacement.
Later, bro.
See you, nerds.